Greetings to all. Greetings. Welcome to today's talk on the emerging era of human resource management, HR, the challenges of artificial intelligence and blockchain in talent acquisition. I'm Maria Michaelides. I'm a professor at the School of Business of the University of Nicosia, the Department of Management and MIS, and also the director of the Makridakis Open Forecasting Center of the Institute for the Future of the University of Nicosia in Cyprus. My areas of interest are the following: organizational behavior, industrial psychology, and human resource management. Today, we will be able to expand upon issues related to talent acquisition, specifically blockchain, artificial intelligence or AI, and other technological innovations are affecting all aspects of our societies and causing some profound changes in human resource practices, in businesses, and in nonprofit organizations. Critical to these high-tech advances is how they will affect employment patterns and the way companies will hire their workforce, influencing human resource practices and the way they will manage their employees. As we all know, the goal of any HR specialist is to identify the right candidate, fit, and to amplify the success, his or her success. Now, critical to these high-tech advances is how they will affect employment patterns and the way companies will hire their workforce, influence human resource practices, and the way they manage their employees, as I said earlier on. Thus, if we take a look at what happened in the past, what happens today, and what will happen in the near future, this talk will give you an introduction of the following. First, we will discuss how blockchain and AI are affecting human resource practices. Then, we will look at hiring practices at firms. And third, discuss employment patterns in the emerging age of high-tech super automation, concluding with some forthcoming AI predictions of employment and or unemployment and the inevitable income inequality that is bound to develop and affect our societies. Now, as we look at the present today, social networking has become business networking, and finding job candidates on Facebook or LinkedIn and any other online interviews is basically a part of a regular hiring process in human resources. Now, when we look at the future, we look at ways that you and I will be interviewed, and maybe by a robot. Maybe by a robot. So when we look at this, there is considerable apprehension and even fear about the impact of automation on our future caused by artificial intelligence, blockchain, and related technologies. Research published by Forrester, one of the most influential research and advisory firms in the world, related to automation and predictions for 2019, specifically targeting artificial intelligence, states that an estimated 10% of jobs in the US will be replaced by automation. However, new technologies will trigger the creation of roughly 3% of today's jobs. Forrester also estimated that over 40% of companies will employ robots and machines to substitute humans. That's quite a number. And although the effects of automation on employment are debatable, caution is recommended for the many different challenges that will be created as the unemployed will have a hard time training to perform their new digital jobs. And before moving on to the next material, I would like to highlight issues of quality, explainability, and transparency of any decision making that basically is related to talent acquisition. These issues will not only encourage companies to invest in information architecture, but to also take into consideration the directives of the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, and it is the right of those affected that must be enforced, requiring organizations to invest in transparency and also explanations of the decisions that are being reached. Although overall the effects of new technologies on unemployment cannot be known, there is little doubt that the road towards digitalized and automated workplaces will not be without challenges and difficulties. Nonetheless, in terms of recruitment processes of human resources, again referring to Forrester, the Forrester forecasts that AI-driven recruitment will become widespread, leading to unprecedented job match success rates. And this is what I had at the very early on of my presentation, that job match success rate. By 2025, a net 7% of jobs, close to 9 million jobs in the United States alone, will be lost to robots and other intelligent machines. However, what is not clear is how many new jobs will be created and whether or not such jobs, examples will be robot specialists, data scientists, deep learning experts, monitoring specialists, and content curators will compensate for the ones that are lost. And over 8 million new jobs will be created by 2025 in the US, according to the statistics, that could be needed to satisfy the demand for hiring new technologies. However, this means a small decline in the jobs created in the US, but it could be much larger in less developed countries that are unlikely to be able to finance and implement new technologies. And these would also translate into jobs lost to automation, but at the same time, the new jobs are not created in new technologies as it would happen in advanced countries. Furthermore, the World Economic Forum reports that double the number of jobs could be created as lost through the application of new technologies. However, for this new kind of professions to form, it will entail rigorous and collaborative efforts by employers and also policy makers and governments. Additionally, these new jobs are expected to require different types of skills, such as people-centered ones. Besides, companies and HR teams need to take into account the time lag between these new jobs and that are currently being created and the ones that will be lost. So concurrently, human resource teams would be intensely involved in reskilling and upskilling employees. Reskilling and upskilling employees. Herrick, in his report about human resources, the new digital mandates, referring to the Brain Survey, where 3/4 of the 500 HR executive participated, they stated that current technologies have not yet achieved the business results they would require, and that their performance was far from optimal. The main problems mentioned concentrated around the large number of digital tools that exist, which are dispersed, unintegrated, and as also being called unconnected. Furthermore, according to the same report, some of these tools have omitted critical functions and have interfaces that are not easily to understand. Thus, human resources teams are now being challenged with integrating the new digital technologies while being concerned with how to deal with the complexity that is created by adopting them, as well as integrating them into the existing ones. Right. On my screen, you will see that I'm talking about Generation Z, and these are the new kids on the block. Before someone can recruit these social warriors, as King in 2017 said, it is necessary to build a strategy to earn their loyalty and bring them out of their shell. And Generation Z are the new employees who basically were born with an iWatch, an iPhone, and an iPad, accessible at all times. So, how blockchain and AI are affecting human resource practices, and how blockchain is revolutionizing the way human resource practices are performed, as its decentralized nature automates the verification of information, resulting in more accurate approaches to hiring employees. So I will move on a little bit to the blockchain part. Employment history can now be placed on public blockchain, containing candidates' successes and failures, storing detailed performance indicators such as transfers, layoffs, promotions, and making employment management a different game for human resource teams. Thus, automated validations of CVs, records of contracts, and also cryptocurrency utilization for international payrolls have all disturbed the way of doing things in human resources and in top-notch, technologically advanced HR era. Now, according to an article published in the Future of Work, blockchain is likely to transform HR practices in several ways. Some examples are basically the following, in several ways. Examples are given of Bidwage and Chronobank, which facilitate employees' payroll, since payments take a shorter and faster time to process without intermediaries, such as banks. And Bidwage, which is used for international employee payment, combines mobile, cloud, and blockchain technology. With the use of Bitcoin, employees are paid, in their local currency, and Bidwage facilitates the currency conversion. Additionally, Chronobank facilitates payments of employees via the use of blockchain technology with no banking institutions involved. Furthermore, in the same article, in the Future of Work, smart contracts are discussed, as well as educational and career records verifications systems. Examples of these are several platforms such as AP2 and Technology Jobs. AP2 is equipped with an intelligent profile that's carrying an employee's information such as educational background, vocational training, work history, and other career details. And it is also capable of facilitating the candidates to maintain their records up to date. So that is facilitated. In becoming an AP2 is assisting technology jobs, which is a job site, in becoming the world's first job site to offer employees CVs verified by blockchain. Likewise, Jobium, another blockchain-based recruitment platform, is creating a LinkedIn-like recruitment tool using the type of technology where hire match an employment company specializing in talent acquisition, which is one of the first ones to basically offer decentralized blockchain-based HR solutions for recruitment purposes, finding talents, interviewing, and also hire candidates. That's significantly cutting costs for its users. So we focus on talent, right fit candidate, on how to become leaders in this, on basically having a new employee experience, and on smarter cognitive recruitment. Okay. Now, as noted a little bit earlier, the streamlining of routine HR tasks as contracts and payrolls is the way that blockchain improves human resource work. This disruptive nature of blockchain will be more effective and less expensive in the long run. And several factors contribute in two ways to the upgraded value of this technology when used in human resource practices. First, by how an employee's employment history is being kept. And second, how information about current or prospective employees' qualifications can be obtained and maintained. These two advantages come from the inability to modify blockchain. And I'm repeating that. These two advantages come from the inability to modify blockchain. Now, the challenges of artificial intelligence and blockchain on human resource recruitment practices, employment records, and the fact that all employees' degrees and job qualifications can be obtained directly from the internet using the right blockchain key provided by the employee is quite crucial. Moreover, such trustworthy information can be obtained no matter where the employee has obtained his or her educational degrees and or country, region of his or her employment. This means that educational and employment qualifications can be trusted, allowing objective comparisons between applicants and employees. Furthermore, these new technologies can increase employee efficiency and effectiveness by being able to hire the most appropriate ones for the specific job. And I'm repeating that. Furthermore, these new technologies can increase employee efficiency and effectiveness by being able to hire the most appropriate ones for the specific job. Similarly, hiring people by using advanced AI technologies can contribute to the development of employees who are highly devoted to their job and are strongly connected to their employer. Repeating that again, similarly, hiring by using advanced AI technologies can contribute to the development of employees who are highly devoted to their jobs and are strongly connected to their employer. Now, this is a result of the best fit or an non-fit candidates that AI is able to select from the best fit candidate will contribute to and develop and feel connected and engaged with the place of work. So I have started by looking at the fit, the best fit, or the non-fit candidate for a job. And summarizing this part, AI will be able to select, since AI is able to screen out and identify talent, the best fit candidate, and that best fit candidate will contribute and develop and feel connected and engaged with the place of employment. Furthermore, possessing best fit characteristics will ultimately enhance the candidate's drive for innovation and leading their company forward by focusing on continued growth. And in the long run, they will maintain meaningful and lasting relationships with their firm. So, value added. Therefore, AI can help recruiters identify candidates with inefficiencies and ineffectiveness, appraise their potential, and facilitate hiring the best fit minds at optimized cost. AI-driven recruitment will become widespread, leading to unprecedented job match success rate, as I mentioned earlier, referred to Forrester's research. Hence, the impact of AI on human resource practices is wide-ranging. It's wide-ranging, with applicants and applications and virtual application solutions, all powered by AI, which have automated numerous HR processes, have helped improve decision-making, and have strengthened employee-employer relationships. Okay, has helped strengthen the employee-employer relationships. Now, assessment have all helped in their specialized ways to enhance their candidates. So if we look at, for example, some companies and how they assess candidates and intake and talent acquisition, companies like IKEA, L'Oreal, Amazon, Unilever, who basically used for hiring purposes systems like Robot Vera, chatbot called Maya, Higher Value. They basically enhance their hiring processes, sourcing strategies, candidate sourcing strategies from diverse hires to eliminate unqualified candidates, to evaluating potential recruits, to collecting data from body language and facial expressions. Furthermore, AI advocates believe that these types of intelligence can enhance employee selection by also using techniques that are intelligent enough to read microexpressions and to perform vocal analyses, ways to single out traits personality traits that are equivalent to those traits that are possessed by existing high-performing employees. Interesting, very interesting. Nonetheless, the IT solution discussed in this talk needs to harmonize its capabilities and features with human judgment, understanding, and rationality in order to stay realistic and also be useful. And I'm repeating this very, very crucial point, okay? The IT solutions that we refer to need to harmonize their capabilities and features with human judgment, rationality, and understanding in order to stay realistic and be useful. Let me also spend a little bit of time now with the hiring practices in the social media era by looking at attracting sufficient numbers of the right talent and attracting the sufficient number of candidates of the right talent that have the most appropriate credentials in a timely manner, and then hiring the right person from that pool is one of the most crucial HR tasks. This is the essence of recruitment. And such recruitment is discussed in this talk, is being reinvented and reshaped by AI technologies, where AI is being used for numerous aspects of human resources, for instance, in identifying job candidates and acquiring talent, interviewing and testing. Blockchain, as I said, is used in sourcing verified candidate profile, hiring pre-verified contract workers, creating smart, tamper-proof contracts, and securing faster payments. Therefore, this increased emphasis on automation is dramatically altering the way companies think about business processes in general. For example, scheduling, data entry, resource management, IT support, HR processes, continuing, as I said earlier, such as selecting and recruiting talent, in which certainly all translate to business growth. Now, in examining the automation of things, we cannot help but look at how human resource processes, specifically the recruitment, were performed in the past. Okay, and I have started with basically looking at the past and moving towards today and the future. Now, people in charge have been recruiting employees ever since there was a need for additional help. The only things that have changed between then and now is the speed and accuracy, which are the main reasons to invest in automation, as suggested by the source that I referred to earlier on, the Brain Survey. When did it all change, and what shall be expected in the future is actually what excites and challenges us who work in HR teams. Recruitment was not as easy, as fast, and as accurate as it is now. It is a fact that successful recruitment is dependent upon finding the right candidate, the best fit among the right people at the right time. For this approach to work, the best possible job candidates must be identified quickly and efficiently, irrespective of where they are in the world. Thus, a CV or curriculum vitae can be delivered to the prospective employer in a matter of seconds today, and it can also be screened and verified very quickly. However, not too long ago, it had to be printed out and sent by post with the hope that it would be delivered before the deadline. Candidates used to be invited to HR personnel manager's office for a face-to-face recruitment interview. Candidates were screened for the job fit by in-person communication and taking tests that were administered by individuals in HR who could possibly be biased and hold stereotypes. Once hired, all employees' tracking systems and new employee records were manually updated, tasks that took time to perform and were vulnerable to occasional human errors. However, the challenges of AI and blockchain in human resource recruitment practices, and specifically referring to a report by PwC 17 in AI in human resources and its reference research, concluded on the use of AI in international companies, looking at 40%, concluding and conducting the research in international companies. 40% of HR functions of international companies are currently using AI applications, making the work of human resources more efficient, more effective. And one of those applications is robotic process automation, RPA technology, which uses AI to automate business processes to human-like efficacy. All right, we're just repeating that. All right, so it uses AI to automate business processes to human-like efficacy. RPA uses bots to replicate time-consuming tasks and human activities, following users to organize bots to communicate with other business systems, to collect data, and to also give prompt responses. Thus, human resource functions have been transformed by automation to become faster and shorter. Additionally, RPA uses marketing recruitment campaigns which reliably communicate and engage with passive and active candidates and prospective employees in an automated way by using job postings, strong talent hunting methods, and support the team and candidates with interview scheduling. Okay. And when organizations utilize a video interviewing platform, automated emails and with instructions on how to complete the video interview are sent by bots. Then human resource teams can review interviews and select the right candidate for the continuation of the recruitment process. Amazing, isn't it? Today's recruiting is mostly done through social networking, which has in fact become business networking. Many job openings can be found on Facebook and LinkedIn, which has over 450 million registered members with thousands of new job offers made every single day. Now, businesses hunt people's social profiles in order to recruit. So they hunt people's social profiles, and they do that in order to recruit people. Traditional face-to-face communication, as I said earlier, has been transformed to online virtual conference calls and recruitment interviews through the likes of Skype, which has revolutionized the way people interact by abolishing physical space and conserving time and speed. And all these indicate that in the future, it will be even easier and faster to recruit employees and similarly to find a job. What remains certain is that the businesses that adapt to the new era of digitalization and technology will be the ones that have a competitive advantage. So these will be the ones that will have a competitive advantage. Employment needs and patterns. Let's look at the screen. I have some statistics that go back to 2018. They have not deviated much from the 2019 statistics. And if you can see on the screen, in the top 10 jobs, highest paying in the gig technology, it's deep learning, artificial intelligence, blockchain architecture, robotics, ethical hacking, cryptocurrency, Amazon Web Service, and Lambda coding, virtual reality, React.js developers, Final Cut Pro Editor, and Instagram marketing. All right. And we are all looking at the future now. Okay. Employment needs and patterns. Okay. Let's reimagine our future workplace. Let's concentrate on social media and digital culture, socially transforming our workplace, social personal life and work life, work, having that balance that we always wanted. Would that balance stay? Would it be an imbalance? Okay. Extension of the social life, if that is the case. We also look at blockchain, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and we are redesigning the thinking process, becoming culturally different, agile thinking, experimenting. So the employment needs and patterns currently in human resources is witnessing a dramatic change in work patterns, as we have seen. Now, today's employees are not ready to settle into a job forever. Instead, they are eager for growth-oriented roles, can move to new opportunities within 2 to 5 years, and are continually looking for something better. Remote workers, and we have all been, due to the coronavirus, remote workers experiencing the beauties and the difficulties. Freelance operatives and other forms of consultative workers are redoing recruitment for good. Human resources is now starting to search for talent among the Generation Z prospective employees, which I have mentioned earlier on. These are the new job candidates, characterized as the digital, the independent, the unafraid, the global, the cohort that is also known as the I generation, the Gen Tech, the Gen YI, Net Gen, digital natives, and plurals. Certainly, human resources is moving to a cognitive era using AI, blockchain, augmented reality, experimentation, and cognitive thinking. Generation Z needs to be challenged enough to create, to innovate, and to succeed. Let's move on now in looking at the remaining of my talk, all right, in basically looking at the needs to transform from recruitment to talent acquisition, from intuition to intellect. And artificial intelligence and blockchain are the accelerators to these changes, from intuition to intellect. As we have all seen, acquiring talent more intelligently is the way forward. It's faster and better quality. Future job fit with smart recruiters. The use of machine use of information and pre-existing social data, and then apply advanced cognitive data capabilities. The blockchain databases that offer a host of benefits, which include transparency, since numerous computers can host specific information simultaneously. Thus, anyone on the internet can access the data it holds, immutable, hack-proof, since the network of the blockchain exists at a place of consensus and is self-auditing, changing even to the smallest part of this blockchain would take an enormous amount of computer power to take over the entire network. And additionally, blockchain usage is key to the recruitment industry, since it can be used, as I said earlier on, for the different verification of background information, educational background. Thus, fraudulent claims of education could be a thing of the past. Today, several higher educational institutions are creating blockchain databases for their students. They are issuing such certificates, and this issuing of certificates is hard to tamper, and it's very easy to validate. These tools saves time, money, and effort for searching through candidates' credentials. So blockchain can gather data and then store it. Consequently, it can track a person from one job to the other, as I said earlier on, providing data on the candidate's experience and skills to recruiters and to HR personnel. Thus, other key records include length of employment, as I said earlier on, and this is very, very, very useful in trying to finalize the search. Blockchain can contain specific computer protocols to control the distribution of digital contracts. Okay. Also, all these features can influence benefits, wages, retirement packages, and also bonuses. And at the same time, there must be some safeguard on how the data is obtained to avoid negative consequences of infringing on someone's privacy. Okay, and that's something that we look at extensively. So talent recruitment industry, it's an industry that needs to manage its cost. We do remove by the blockchain the unnecessary impediments, and we create a pipeline for this particular effort. From what was said, and safety encryption of website and documents. All right. Right. Moving on to the last part of the presentation. Okay. The impact of artificial intelligence and blockchain adoption on businesses and human resource practices. particularly the employment recruiting industry, is quite clear. As both evolve, their value will only grow as human resource professionals find more ways to use them in order to save money, time, and effort, while immensely improving the quality of the candidates being chosen. Today, AI is helping to improve the selection of a diversified pool of candidates through an algorithmic assessment platform, which can be set up to reduce biases and maximize objectivity. With the use of predictive analytics and neuroscience tools, examples could be emotion recognition software like Affectiva, emotional intelligence, and truthfulness help. HR is assisted in the removal of human biases, conscious and unconscious biases, with the identification of emotional traits, soft skills, and cognitive traits to be able to select the best fit candidate. AI is increasingly becoming more valuable in automating repetitive recruiting tasks such as sourcing resumes, CVs, scheduling interviews, and providing feedback. Furthermore, it can evaluate the current workforce and help the human resources team to make better decisions on who to hire. Quite important aspect. Career Builder company, as cited by Byro, developed an AI technology that can create a CV or a job description in less than a minute. How interesting this is. The CEO of Career Builder commented that their research shows that more than half of the human resource managers feel that artificial intelligence will become a regular part of human resources within 5 years. And also, what is existing is that that the cusp of what is technology can do is basically that automation is one of the most popular emerging technologies currently being deployed in businesses that make it possible to enhance the human experience for both the candidate, the employment candidate, but also the organization. Technology, especially blockchain and artificial intelligence, are currently transforming the human resources task. Okay. Although it appears, it appears that quite expensive, the benefits, which include saving time, far outweigh the cost. So sourcing, interviewing, hiring, powerful API, even though it is hard to find the right fit candidate, human resources teams target they target on quality, efficiency, okay, and are not about sacrificing meaningful relationships and outcomes. And over time, both blockchain and artificial intelligence will disrupt recruitment in its entirety. Okay, it will disrupt. Human resource professionals will be able to leverage these tools to make hiring humans an agent for both individual and organizational growth and productivity. So over time, repeating myself, both AI and blockchain will disrupt recruitment in its entirety. Human resource professionals will be able to leverage these tools to make hiring humans an agent for both individual and organizational growth and productivity. These radical changes that we are all witnessing in technology, with their potentialities and also complexities, which result in innovation, are indeed creating their own challenges. There will be concerns, and there are concerns, to have greater security and higher levels of transparency, dependability, and quality, as well as emotional capacity and a stronger moral code. A stronger moral code. Human beings will be behind these transformations, though, taking up opportunities and revolutionizing threats. We are reinventing the hiring process. Will existing players adapt? Will they become obsolete? In closing, I express also my own concerns about the feelings and moral codes of any form of technology, including AI. I wonder when the day will come when we can answer William's question: how can you tell the difference between speaking to some form of artificial intelligence or an actual human being? And his response was, ask them how they feel about dying. Similarly, O'Shea stated that tech has no moral code. To Williams and O'Shea's comments, I will add my own. Ask AI robots how they feel about starving children, catastrophes, or war, and coronavirus right now. Will the day come when AI understands these concepts? Will the day come? So in closing, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please get in touch with me through my email at the University of Nicosia, and it's michaelidis.michaelidis.m@unic.ac.cy. Thank you for attending. We need to realize that AI and blockchain require high level of human intelligence. Have a great day. Thank you very much.